As Chief of Army Staff Conference kicks off in Uyo, Governor Eno calls for establishment of Army Battalion in Oron. Akwa Ibom government emphasizes provision of infrastructure, youth empowerment in tackling immigration crisis. President Tinubu appoints new directors general of Department of State Services, National Intelligence Agency. Stay tuned for details of these and other reports in a moment. Good afternoon. Welcome to the news. My name is Mercy Ikere. Governor Moino has described security as a panacea for development. The governor made this known during a conference of the Chief of Army Staff, combined second and third quarters in Uyo. Government House reporter Patience John completes the report.
The governor appreciated the army for establishing 2 brigades in Uyo, saying that the gesture has contributed to the peace experienced in the state. Governor Moino commended the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tarut Lagbaja, for the purposeful direction he has given to the Nigerian Army towards meeting its constitutional responsibility, and also appreciated the efforts of the Army in addressing the current security challenges in the country. Governor Moino said his administration will continue to accord premium to security, as exemplified by the establishment of the State Ministry of Security and Waterways, among others.
I'm able to say that the establishment of the headquarters of the 2nd 2 Brigade in the state has contributed in no small measure to the relative peace experienced in the state. It has also contributed to creating a good working and harmonious relationship between you and our administration. It goes without saying that security is a key requirement for national development. I want you to think out of the box and evolve strategies that will consolidate your efforts in tackling the myriad of security challenges being faced in the state and country as a whole. I'm particularly impressed to note that the Nigerian Army has an agricultural arm, and they will contribute in no small measure in the food security of our dear nation.
The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tarut Lagbaja, appreciated Governor Moino and the people of Akwa Ibom State over the warm reception accorded his team. He said the conference was inspired by the persistent security challenges in the country, including terrorism, insurgency, banditry, among others, with a view to preferring solutions to send.
I thank His Excellency, Pastor Umoeno, the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, for leading a delegation of ranking state officials from the executive, legislative, and judicial arms to the opening ceremony of this Chief of Army Staff combined 2nd and 3rd quarter conference 2024, holding here in the beautiful and welcoming city of Uyo. We urge all well-meaning Nigerians to continue supporting our troops deployed across the Federation. We look forward to enhanced collaboration and assistance in making our beloved country, Nigeria, safe for everyone.
Meanwhile, Pastor Moino has called for the sighting of an additional army battalion along the Oron axis on the southern eastern fringes of Akwa Ibom as a step to addressing the lingering security issues in the riverine areas of the state. Patience John, Akbc News.
Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Moino has emphasized the need for infrastructural development and youth empowerment as solutions to Nigeria's immigration crisis. Governor Eno stated this on Monday in Uyo while flagging off the South-South Capacity Building Workshop for the review of the 2015 National Migration Policy organized by the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons in conjunction with the International Organization for Migration. Our Government House reporter, Otawi Malkun, has details.
That Senator Kuniyahi, Governor described migration as a global phenomenon that requires a robust and constantly reviewed policy. He noted that Akwa Ibom State, being a prime maritime axis route, hosts several domestic and cross-border migrants and has a vested interest in matters related to migration.
The present policy is overdue for a review. Hence, this process. The decision by the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons and the international partners, particularly the International Organization for Migration, IOM, to make it a people-oriented and consultative exercise is highly commendable.
While commending NCFRMI for choosing Akwa Ibom State as host for the workshop, the state chief executive said his administration has made huge investments in tourism, security and infrastructural development to encourage the people to stay well, attracting the world to the state. Governor further advocated proper youth reorientation and empowerment to keep them engaged, as well as continuous enlightenment on the dangers and irregular migration.
Permit me again to call on all stakeholders here present to contribute and make their inputs to enable review of the policies effective, positive, that will be useful for the future. We need reorientation of our youth and the migrants. We need empowerment and funding to get them to have something doing.
In a welcome remarks, the Permanent Secretary Office of the Deputy Governor, Mrs. Grace Jim, noted that the workshop was aimed at assessing the progress made so far, identifying areas of improvement, and taking corrective measures to meet global best practices in migration management. Earlier, the head, Psychosocial Support Division, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Dr. Nsika Christian said the review process will help adapt a whole of government and a whole of society approach to migration governance in Nigeria. She said the NCFRMI, in collaboration with various government agencies, civil society organizations, academia, and international partners are working to ensure that the policy reflects the needs and concerns of all stakeholders. Goodwill messages were received from the Federal Commissioner NCFRMI, Tajunu Ahmed, who was represented by the head migration ambassador Catherine Ndida, Commissioner for Health Akwa Ibom State Professor Augustine Omar, Commissioner for International Donor Coordinator Cross River State Yupata Oga, representative of the Chief of Mission Nigeria Amaka Inyowa, representative of Commissioner for Internal Security Akwa Ibom State Mr. Nyangudo, as well as representative of Civil Society's National Emergency Management Agency INEMA, and the Comptroller of Immigrations.
We are here for a 3-day workshop aimed at building capacity as well as consultation with migration stakeholders in the South-South zone as we work towards the review of Nigeria's National Migration Policy 2015. I extend our heartfelt gratitude to each individual and institution here present today for your invaluable contributions and your trust in the Commission as the coordinating agency for migration-related issues in Nigeria. I assure you of our ongoing commitment, collaboration and cooperation. Let us all strive for a productive and meaningful deliberation over the next 3 days as we seek to develop a migration policy that speaks to our shared priorities, and that is beneficial to all.
Utami Maukun, Akbc News.
The practice, monitoring, regulation and streamlining of the practice of traditional birth attendance topped discussions at the House of Assembly recently. This followed a motion of urgent public importance at the last plenary by the member representing Eket State constituency, Dr. Nsilebe Akata. Legislative Affairs reporter Uyuko Swa completes the story.
Engagement was amongst the House Committee on Health, Akwa Ibom State Ministry of Health, Akwa Ibom State Hospitals Management Board, and the Primary Healthcare Development Agency.
What is the effort of the Ministry of Health and other MDAs to contain the proliferation of traditional birth attendants in villages, taking cognizance of the high mortality rate that is attached or attributed to pregnant women? What is the ministry doing in terms of regulating those involved? Do they have a register?
While the Ministry of Health acknowledged the existence of an inventory for traditional birth attendants, it noted that the list requires updating. The ministry highlighted circumstances leading to the continuous patronage of traditional birth attendants and steps taken by the state government to boost maternal care in the primary health centers and encourage their patronage.
Assessment of the work of traditional birth attendants over the years, because they are not of the formal sector and they have received no training, has always raised worries in every situation. And the World Health Organization a few decades ago had advised nations to phase out traditional birth attendants. Unfortunately, in our clients, many people still utilize it. Now back to getting them in line. If you don't have an